But in any case, let's go ahead and move on to Everfree. So, as I mentioned, I attended Everfree Northwest this year
So
once
let's
again.
paint the grass yellow and move on to the next thing. What's next, Circuit? What you got?
Everfree.
Isn't it time for the pixie gift?
Not quite. What we're going to talk
Oh
about.
shit! I need to stop being here and watch the new episode. Also, probably throw some laundry into the washer.
Well, you got a little bit of time to grab the episode real fast while I talk about Everfree, and we're going to be talking about the villain episode first.
That's right.
So you do have some time.
Make sure that the talk about the villain episode lasts about the length of an episode, and we'll be fine.
Well, we got Everfree as well, and at this point, I keep getting interrupted. We're going to have plenty of time. Except for the fact that we're running out of showtime. Except we're running out of showtime in general. But let's get started here. So, Everfree. As I mentioned, I did attend it this year, and it was a blast. I really enjoyed it. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the big thing that they announced right at the end here, that Everfree is moving venues. Which, in all honesty, is kind of a godsend. Now, I didn't mind the Doubletree Hotel. It's a nice place. It's got some great scenery, and the cookies are good. The problem is that the rooms are expensive. $200 a night. I think I'm actually spending more on an Everfree room for 4 days than BronyCon for 5 or 6. That's crazy. Of course, unfortunately, that also has kind of put me in a bit of a financial boondoggle as I'm trying to make sure I have enough money to go completely nuts on BronyCon. Don't worry, I'm perfectly fine. I'm just want to go nuts at BronyCon. Anyway, so yes, this was Everfree's last year in the Doubletree Hotel. However, they are still going to be in Seattle, and they are moving over to Bellevue, where they have a different hotel, the Sheraton, I believe, this time. And the rooms are actually going to be cheaper, $139 a night instead of the $200 a night. And it's actually a bigger venue space, so they're going to have a lot more merchandise, a lot more events, panels, artists. They basically, and the fact is they're moving everything to August. This pretty much looks like Everfree's attempt at taking over where BronyCon is going to be leaving off this year, which is exciting. I'm glad for it. And they also did mention that they are going to continue to do Everfree as long as they still have support from Bronies. So, this, along with Babs, looks like it will be around for a long time as long as Bronies continue to be around as well. So, how exciting is that?
Alright. As long as BabsCon will be around, I'm pretty sure Bronies will be around because that is the party con.
Well, BabsCon is the party con. I think Everfree might become the big Congregation con. Congregational? It'll be the one that a lot of Bronies start to pile around.
The word you're looking for is congregational.
Congregational con, I think, yes. At least I think that...
Because you're looking for the word congregation.
Congregational, yes, that is... But yeah,
that's a mouthful.
But the reason I believe this is even though everybody is setting up to go to BronyCon this year, and a lot of Bronies are probably not going to other conventions because of this, they still had an attendance of almost 1,200 people in that hotel. Almost 1,200, and that was with everybody and their grandmother trying to go to BronyCon. I don't know anybody who isn't going to BronyCon at this point, or isn't trying to anyway.
I'm not trying to go.
I stand corrected. Okay.
I'm too poor.
Okay. All right. With circumstances aside there. But it is exciting. It is really exciting. But that's enough of what the future holds. Let's hold what the past holds. And how Everfree was both a moment of triumph and a lot of bull. So, yeah.
Like how they outlawed all documentaries?
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I can't believe they did that.
I'm friends with a lot of vendors, and they were livid about that.
Well, it wasn't just Dockies, but no, Dockies was the big one. They basically...
Pretty much anything that might be even a little bit sexual. They go
suggestive.
Oh, look! They got bedroom eyes. I'm like, no,
yeah,
they got bedroom eyes, goodbye. Like,
They basically banned bedroom eyes. That's pretty much what they did here. Which, you know, I get that they're trying to keep it family friendly. I can understand that, but just that seems really draconian. Of course, considering that BabsCon apparently had a ban on all stickers, because saw a bunch of idiots actually stuck a bunch of stickers all over the hotel area.
Which is understandable at that point, but
that's understandable.
Still sucks.
But yeah, I don't get. Actually, I did hear that some people were still able to sell Dockies. They just couldn't have them on display. Which, unfortunately, yeah, there was a few vendors out there that all they do is sell Dockies. So yeah. But no, that's just unfortunately some of the dumb stuff here. But let's actually talk about me getting to the con. Now, actually getting to the con itself wasn't too bad this year. I got my ride. I got over to the airport. They patted down my left leg again, which is now a frequent occurrence anytime I go to a convention now, and I have no idea why. Every time I go to a hotel, every time I go through airport security, they're gonna pat down my left leg, and I don't know why now. It's actually starting to spook me, but.
Do you have a limp like I do? Because that might explain it.
I don't think I have a limp per se, but I think I do favor my left foot for balance.
As long as you don't go through the metal detectors and you set them off for no reason like I do all the time.
Nah, I haven't done that one yet. But no...
They patted me down and I'm like, dude, there's nothing there. They couldn't figure it out. It was hilarious to me, but it was kind of sucky because I delayed everything like an hour.
But no, with Everfree though, I did manage to get over to the hotel without a single problem. Unfortunately, that's when problems began. Now with Everfree, I decided this year I didn't go through the website I didn't go through Everfree's website to book a room. I used my Hilton Honors to try to get a room at a slightly cheaper rate. I have no idea if I actually succeeded or not, to be honest. But because I did that, I also found out that the con had special hotel door keys this year. Same with Babs. Now, I found out about I saw these keys and I'm like, hey, can I get some of those keys? And like, nope, sorry, you didn't book at the con rate. And I mean, they did it with just like the sourpuss face. It was amazing. I never seen anybody so just annoyed at life. I mean, they really seemed pissed for some reason. I have no idea.
What, the hotel staff?
Yeah, well, this person at the front desk anyway just really seemed angry for some reason. I have no idea why. But there's a little bit more to the door key story, but we'll get to that later. That's going to be at the end. But in any case, when I got there, I actually got grabbed by the Traveling Pony Museum. Because we're actually really good friends with them. In fact, we're good friends with Inky, and the big reason is because D-Pad works for them. And I'm sure all of you remember D-Pad. Or some of you, anyway.
Who's that again?
It's some jerk. But no, D-Pad used to be a co-host here at the Brony show. He decided to move on to other things. He's actually working on being a voice actor right now, but he is, he is friends with Inky, and Inky asked for my help because she knew that I was going to Everfree. So I get to Everfree and I start helping him move 100-pound luggages. Now here's where problem 2 with the hotel comes into being. Now they call the hotel the Doubletree Hotel, and the layout is like a tree. You have one big area. It branches out into 4 wings. Now, the 4 wings, one of them branches out into a 2-parter. And this 2-parter has 3 floors. I'm on the 2nd floor of the furthest room, with only 3 other rooms being further from me from the hotel center. We actually looked into this. It is a 1/4 mile walk from the front desk to our hotel room. And that doesn't sound too bad, but this is also...
God, you guys, I just found the best protest initiative challenge ever.
What's that?
Ponies heating the beat.
Heating?
The beat?
Heating the beat.
Hey, let me type this out to make sure I'm hearing this right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But any case,
That is correct.
Okay.
Ponies heating the beat.
Is that what you're gonna change your protest to, or save that till next week?
I mean, I could save that till next week. Yeah, I think I'll do that. But yeah, ponies heating the beat.
Heating the beat.
It's up to interpretation. Enjoy.
All right.
All right, back to your discussion. I'm going to go watch the episode and also do some laundry.
All right, you go do that. I'll be right here. All right, so getting back on track here. So,
Quarter-mile walks.
quarter-mile walk. Now, this doesn't sound too bad, except you also got to consider the fact that it's a quarter of a mile to get to the room, quarter of a mile to get back to the con floor, a quarter of a mile to go from my room to go to eat anything, a quarter of a mile to go from eating something back to my room. And I just helped lug 100-pound suitcases around the hotel because, unfortunately, the reason that Inky grabbed me right off the bat is she needed a place to store her luggage, and then they wanted to get something to eat. And, of course, I had my room available because she didn't have hers yet. So we stored 100-pound luggages into our room with thick, dense carpeting that took forever to push that crap. And, unfortunately, one of her luggage cases, the wheel TSA broke one of the wheels. So yeah,
Just lifted, man. Then you'd be like me at work, lifting 100+ pound things and walking around with it everywhere.
Now the thing is, there was some points I did lift that thing. I actually did lift it, but we'll have to get back to that. But yeah, so by the time we even got anything into the vendor hall, we got some Taco Bell. Then we went to the vendor hall. I sat around, decided to help out because, unfortunately, Inky had only one person to help her. And she normally has like 3 or 4 people to help her. Of course, I couldn't be there for the whole convention because I didn't have a vendor badge and wasn't cleared. But I could at least help her with getting the table set up, which was fun. Now, the reason that I also bring up the table is because we were right next to Silver Quill.
Oh.
So that was pretty fun too. I got to talk a little bit with Silver Quill, have a little bit of fun there. We actually talked a little bit about Akiba Rangers, which I've never watched yet. I want to watch Akiba Rangers. And he gave me a website to go to watch it. So apparently Silver Quill likes Sentai shows. Go figure.
Gotta do something on your downtime.
Yep, you do. But I thought that was a little bit fun, and the fact that I now have a way to watch Akiba Rangers, I'm excited. I haven't seen that yet. I still got to. I have the site now though, so that I'm a step closer. But yeah, then after we got as much as we could of the area set up, and then we decided to go ahead and get some dinner. Unfortunately, the problem with the area we were in, 9 p.m. almost everything closes. It's actually really strict and weird. The only things that are open is a Subway that's usually open for another hour, and then you have a Taco Bell. Unless you order things. Or Denny's. You have a Denny's. You actually have a Denny's. Although
you don't eat Taco Bell unless you had a couple of drinks in you first.
No, the Taco Bell wasn't too bad. The Denny's was another case. The Denny's was another story. Now, the problem is... Yes. Let's see. Have you seen the power? Yeah, I haven't seen the Power Ponies review DM12. I have not. I am way behind on my analyst videos. In fact, I didn't watch a lot of analyst videos until more recently because I didn't want their views coloring my thoughts on the episodes. But then I realized my thoughts are crap. So, yeah, I kind of threw that out the window recently. Though I really do want to make some sort of analyst videos or stuff, but that's another side. That's a side. So anyway, we went to a Subway because we had very few precious options outside of a really expensive barbecue joint. So we went to a Subway, we got some sandwiches, and this has never happened to me in any con till now. This has never happened, so this caught me off guard. a transient guy. I mean, this guy looks like he was pretty beat up. He was holding a pamphlet. He was holding a pamphlet for SeaWorld or something. It was nothing related to anything nearby. And he's just holding this. And he's walking around the subway as we're ordering our food. And he just kind of keeps wandering in a circle. And it looks like the subway guy may be aware of him or wary of him. Because, he kind of felt a little shifty. And I was keeping my this guy out of the corner of my eye the entire time. Because he was freaking us the hell out. And then, when we were finishing getting our food and we decided that we were going to hightail it to the hotel room, he went outside of the subway just before we could, and we took a moment to decide, what should we do here? Or should we stay? Should we just make a run for the hotel? And we decided to run for it. We waited. We waited until he went he went down the block the other direction for a moment. Then we went out the doors and started to head up to the hotel. This guy turned around and started to follow us. Immediately. So, yeah. Immediately when that happened, we started to pick up the pace. I stayed a little bit behind everybody because I'm very confident in my own strength and that I could probably beat the crap out of this guy if I had to. And I was the bigger, stronger person of these guys, of the people that were here. Reason being, I was the only one that could lift that 100-pound suitcase like it wasn't anything. Well, it was something, but it wasn't too bad of a something, Sorry.
Too bad I wasn't there, huh?
Nah, too bad. But no, we got over to the La Quinta where Inky was staying because they were able to finally get their room. And we relaxed in the room for 10 minutes, swapped a few stories. They were still worried as hell about me going back to the DoubleTree because I still had to cross the street. I wasn't too scared of the guy. I was more concerned about them than I was about the guy. Though that still freaked me the hell out that he just suddenly followed us as we left the subway. It's like, what the hell? But yeah, I got to the DoubleTree, no problem. I got to the hotel room. I started to meet up with the people that I'm going to be was going to be sharing the room with. And then let's go on to Friday. Now, those of you may not know some of the people. Now, I did share the room with a couple of people. You're not going to. Some of them you might not know. One of them is a guy that does a lot of My Little Pony collectible card games. In fact, every con he goes to, he's always advertising the game, getting people to play it, giving out free decks, things like that. You might have seen him around. I don't think he goes to BronyCon, but he goes to a lot of the Western conventions. One of them is just a friend who volunteers a lot to the different conventions. You might have seen him around, but yeah. But yeah, he's just one of those familiar, friendly faces. The third guy was the Looney Turtle. Now, I brought up his site here, but yeah, the Looney Turtle, who does a lot of cartoon reviews, state comments, things like that. Oh, wow, he did a Jasper Pie pizza thing. I'm going to have to check that out. But no, yeah, he does a lot of analysis and things like that, though he's kind of like B famous because some people in the Brony community know him, but not everybody knows him. Plus, he doesn't look like he puts out a lot of videos quickly.
It's a bit like me in a way, where it's like, you may not know me, but you know my work type of deal.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I got to share a room with him. Pretty awesome guy. But yeah, the other thing is that we were also going to be sharing the room with one other person. Of course, this was a person that Looney got in contact with and needed a room for a couple of days, and I figured, okay, you know what? This hotel was expensive enough. We'll share it with a fifth. That'll help cut down costs. Yeah, this is why I've started to realize maybe if I share rooms, I should get it down a contract agreement, because the person that the fifth person, this is going to be the craziest story. They met a high school friend in the registration line, and then they decided to room with them for the entire weekend. Now, because I knew this guy was coming, I put an air mattress and a pump into my suitcase. I went through a lot of crap to make sure I had those things ready too, because you know he was going to be rooming with us. I wanted to try to make it comfortable for him. I didn't want him to sleep on a hard floor. And then yeah, that happened. So that sucked a lot.
Yeah. I would hate to bring a mattress for nothing.
Oh, I hated it. I was not thrilled. Looney was also pretty pissed too, so he shared my resentment on that. So yeah, unfortunately that kind of killed some of my Everfree costs, but otherwise Friday went well. I went around, I bought a lot of fun merch. I checked out some panels here and there. They actually had Round Trip, who does a lot of the Brony the nutshell shows. You know, what the hey.
Mm-hmm.
So they had him there at the convention, which was awesome. That was great. I went to some panels. I checked around. I didn't move around as much as I wanted to because unfortunately everything that happened on Thursday destroyed my feet. And the fact that I kept having to walk a quarter of a mile to get back to my hotel room anytime I needed to drop something off or get a rest sucked. And food was also a problem. The reason that food was a problem was there were some good options, but unless you were willing to settle for cheap fast food or expensive food, Denny's was pretty much your go-to. Unfortunately, everybody knew that. That Denny's had not a single moment where it wasn't completely busy, except for maybe 4 in the morning.
They must have got a lot of business then.
Oh, they had a lot of business, but they were not keeping up with any of the people, and I've actually saw some people leaving tables because of it. Apparently, I think they were actually short-staffed, which really sucked for them. I really do feel for them on that one.
Might have moved into Bellevue.
Now, it might be part and partial, but I think it's also costs in general. Because I mean, the hotel rooms, like I said, were expensive.
And there were literally no other restaurants nearby?
Well, there's other restaurants, but they were all fast food, or they were more like hole-in-the-wall places where, yeah, they had great food, but you had to get there before 9 or else you were screwed. But no, they had a great Hawaiian food place. I actually got a couple times there. They had a Japanese place I wanted to try, but they were also closed on Sunday, which that didn't help. So yeah, Jack in the Box, Taco Bell, Subway, and Denny's, unless you wanted to buy food from the hotel. So
That's why
yeah,
I like driving to my conventions because I could
yeah,
get
having
my
a
vehicle, stuff it full of food, and just in a freezer, and then bring it in with me, and then smuggle all my food into the hotel.
Well, you don't even need a smuggle. I think a lot of people do that, in all honesty.
I just put it in my luggage, and that's my food for the con. It's great.
I'm actually having debate doing that for BabsCon, or at least a little bit more for Babs, because that's the one where the hotel is inexpensive, but the food options are not inexpensive.
Just make sure you like to eat peanut butter and jelly because that's an easy way to cut down on food costs.
It is.
Yeah, generally if you keep busy all day, you only eat like 1 or 2 sandwiches a day, and you're fine. So.
Yep. But let's go ahead and get back on the track here. As we already mentioned, yeah, unfortunately the merch hall was still great though, despite the lack of dockies. So thank goodness I'm going to TruckCon. Lack of dockies, it still had a lot of good merchandise, and I got a lot of great stuff. I'll be showing that in a moment. Then Friday came, it went, I had my fun. Saturday came, and I saw a panel for the Iron Author Challenge. Now, what this was a challenge you had 2 hours. You sat down, you were given a quick set of things that the story was supposed to be about, and you had 2 hours to write a story based on what they gave you, what they told you. Prompts, thank you. And I decided, you know what, I'm feeling frisky, I'm feeling stupid, maybe a little bit of both. I'm going to go ahead and try this challenge. Now, the reason I'm also trying to hesitate here is I'm trying really hard to bring it up here real fast.
And slowly, we need to get the computer running on the same level as everybody else.
Okay, so yeah, I decided to go ahead and enter the challenge. And there's my entry right there. Along with a bunch of other entries. Now, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to the next day because they did announce the winners on Sunday of who won the challenge and what. Yeah, I did not place at all. I got zilch, nada. But when I heard the entries that did win, I'm not surprised. I mean, it was... I wrote utter crap compared to what they wrote. Wow. But they did give a review of everybody's different stories, and I kind of got middle of the road apparently. My didn't suck. It had some really good ideas, and it was a good slice of life. The problem is that I didn't go into a lot of details at times, and I kind of jumped points, and I didn't make things didn't make things too clear at times.
Well, that's one thing that you have to figure out as you write. Because at the beginning you just do broad terms. But then, if you have something that you want to focus on, describe it in actual colors or not just he, him, her, and them.
That's a great idea if it wasn't for the fact I had 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just tell you from being a narrator, the most frustrating thing is getting so much detail that bogs down the story, or where you get like so little detail and then the author decides to jump in on so much detail. You're like, dude.
All
You
right.
just need the consistent level, and that's the hard part.
The best way to do it is whenever you're having characters talk, if it's just like their first time meeting, then describe it as instead of and there's person's name.
Anyway, getting back. Anyway, wrestling this back on track here because we don't exactly have time to suddenly go into a writing discussion. But yeah, if you are curious about the story I wrote, I did go ahead and post the story on our content creation site, as well as the link to the site that has all of the stories. I might actually, I'm probably going to sit down and maybe at least flesh it out and give it a little bit more detail and probably put it on FimFiction since it did review decently. And admittedly, it was, even though I lost outright, it was kind of nice to challenge myself a little bit and see what I could do in the way of writing. Of course, the fact that I'm pretty average right off the bat is kind of funny.
Don't worry, you might be average to them, but you're something else to us. What's the word I'm looking for?
I'll go with that. Alright, in any case, Sunday came and went. There wasn't a whole lot that happened. 2 of the roommates left. One of them, we already knew they were going to be leaving on Friday. The other one left unexpectedly because his ride, he actually drove all the way to Everfree. Unfortunately, his ride, something happened with his hotel room, and he wasn't staying till Monday, so they had to leave Friday evening. So the hotel room was left between me and Richard, who does the cards. Which kind of also sucked a little bit, because that kind of hurt the hotel cost once again. And then Monday came. I managed to pack everything up in my suitcase. I managed to get out of the hotel in time, and I played a gambit. I went up to the hotel person as I had to wait to check out. This sucked. Actually, no, double thing. I found the berry tube room. I actually found the berry tube room. I knew one of the admins from Berry Tube. He's a great friend of mine. I love him. He's a great guy. I should probably reach out to him about that apple beer that he was bringing back. But yeah, he's an awesome guy. I had a hard time getting in contact with him the whole con, but I did finally figure out where he was at the last day, which sucks because I couldn't hang out with him. But I was able to come and visit, say hi, talk with him a little bit. And also I was able to also give him my remainder of alcohol, which I got apple vodka and a couple of apple. I got apple flavored everything basically, like apple Jack Daniels.
Apple pie whiskey that you've been going on about.
Not that unfortunately, but no, I got apple vodka, apple Jack Daniels, apple bourbon.
Ooh, baby.
The problem is that there unfortunately was a liquor tax that was like 25% of the cost. It was ridiculous, but no, unfortunately beer always has a tax. Let's face it.
Sadly.
You have to
That's
pay to
the
sin.
mission?
No, you just have to pay to sin. Anyway, I
Or
did,
it's not a sin. You're
but
paying for it.
but I was able to say hi and goodbye to him, which was pretty awesome. And checkout sucked as well because I don't know what happened, but it just was taking him forever to get through everybody, and I was waiting. Now, I made a mistake on the plane. I thought I was leaving at about like 1:15. My plane was flying off at about 12:30. So I was trying to get out of the hotel and on my way in as quick a time as possible. But I wanted to check out and make sure I get a physical receipt of the cost of that room, especially with how expensive it was. And checkout took forever. But I was patient. I was calm. I tried to be polite and nice and all of that fun stuff. And then I seized my opportunity as I got the receipt for the room. I asked if there was any possibility I could get one of those door keys. The Everfree Northwest door keys, because this was the last year the con was going to be at that hotel. Somebody might have turned one in, and they're not going to need them anymore. They can't use them anymore. They're literally a waste and might get thrown away or stuck in some storage area to be covered in dust forever. So I went with it. I'm just like, can I get a door key? They initially said no. That kind of hurt. But again, it was a long shot. Then a few seconds later, the person thought about it. I was just like, wait one moment. They did a little bit of digging, went in the back, waited a couple minutes. Then they came out with a door key. And I sunk that sucker right into my wallet with many, many thanks coming out of my mouth. I was so happy to get that door key. And I got it. I got the door key. So, yeah, I managed to grab that. I get to the airport. I wait in the long security line. I get to where my plane is. They're going to start boarding in 10 minutes. I'm sitting for about 35 minutes because something takes a while and they couldn't get to board immediately. So, yeah, there's irony for you.
Well, it's planes. That's how they go.
Yeah, but eventually we got boarded in. I got flown home. I got home, and there you go. I managed to get through Everfree Northwest relatively unscathed. And as I mentioned, we're going to go ahead and show off some of the merch that I picked up. And of course, first things first, I want to show off a little bit of this. Now, of course, I decorated my door once again, as I'm going to be doing every con, because I'm finding it to be a fun habit. However,
That'll make finding you easy at BronyCon.
that might be if you're willing to run through all the rooms in the holiday of the Days Inn. But here's the funny thing, that Sweetie Belle, I didn't put that there. Somebody tagged my door with a Stary Bell, and it was hilariously awesome.
Perfect.
I was so happy to get that Stary Bell. But, and also, as I mentioned, I did find the Berry Tube room. Here's a quick picture of their door. And I'm not going to lie, yeah, the reason I even do the door decoration is because of Berry Tube and seeing what they do with their room door, and I thought that was fun. Granted, I keep mine away from their memes in order to make sure that people don't think that I'm the Berry Tube room. But other people...
I've seen a bunch of those memes in their chat rooms before.
Yeah. But yeah, they had images all over the doors, which was really awesome. So I quickly grabbed some pictures before I ran off. And now let's go ahead and... Oh, well, there's this one really fast. Just a furry being surrounded by ponies.
Help.
Now let's go ahead and get to the fun stuff. The merchandise! Now, Silver Quill actually was selling Starbucks coffee t-shirts.
You know, he would do that.
He would, especially since we were at the home place of Starbucks, so I immediately snagged one first chance I got. I also got this awesome shirt, which is a Japanese 3XL, so it just barely fits me, which also means that I'm on a diet again. Well, well, basically I'm trying to lose weight to begin with, so if anything, this is encouragement.
That is flashy.
It's flashy, but it's so awesome, and it's kind of soft, too.
Just join me at my workplace. You'll lose 20 pounds in a month, easy.
I probably would. And I'd probably be happier than my workplace right now, I'm not going to lie.
Working in the scrapyard.
Riding a bike.
Moving on. I also picked up a blanket. This is a really horrible picture, but it was a really big blanket. But the Luna... I forget the artist, unfortunately, but he does this as well as a giant tapestry of all the different images that coalesce together into one big image.
Oh!
Fabric?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a fleece or something different?
It is not fleece. I'm not sure what it is, but it is not a down comforter. It's actually a much thicker blanket, which it actually shows the image a lot better, but it is thicker, so it's not quite as soft, but it will keep you warm.
I got a Fallout blanket from them for Project Horizons.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. It's a big one too. It's great.
And then from Chocolate Pony, I got this. The disgusted derpy flag, which I put over my back window here, and it's going to be over my window as I do Let's Plays now, because it actually makes for a nice little piece there, instead of just the curtain that's being blinded by half sun. And here's the Everfree Northwest merchandise that I picked up. You can see the program guide, the t-shirt that they had, the official t-shirt for the year. Beautiful. I'm also very happy for that shirt. And, of course, my official badge. And here we also have the con mascots. At the ending ceremonies, they actually announced that everything in their con store would be 50% off or more. So I decided to quickly jump onto it and tried to get the con mascots. They didn't have any of the normal ones, but they did have the C ones, so I got all 3 of them for $25. So I'm not complaining.
Not bad.
They're not bad at all, and now I got con mascot plushies, so I'm happy. And here's some more merchandise. Now, I picked up an Art of a Fallout Equestria book. There was also a dice mat. This is the Luna one down below is a dice mat that you actually put together with the snaps, and you roll dice inside of it. Inside of it. It's really awesome.
How does that work?
It's not
You snap it together, you shake it like a bag, then drop it down.
It's not a bag. No, it's not like a bag. It's like a tray. You snap the sides so that the sides come up like walls, and it becomes a little makeshift tray. It's actually really awesome, and I'm sure he'll have more of those if you go to any of the other cons that the Railroad Pony will be at.
Is the art book by Hobbs Maxwell?
I don't think it is.
But it kind of looks like his style, but then again, he made that style popular for doing anything Fallout now.
Well, it was the same
Fallout picture, and then they do the graphic dark white.
I'm sorry, I need more information about Sensation.
Okay, Sensation. I'm gonna have this one is a fun story. I went to a panel about writing epic stories, and they were talking about their books and stuff. One of them was talking about a book that they did bring with them, which is, of course, an epic story. It's almost 1,000 pages. Now, the thing he meant. All right. But yeah, as soon as they were done, I went up and asked them about it because I already went through the merch hall. I didn't see the book. And it looked interesting. I didn't want to miss it. Especially since I love buying the books that people are making.
Also, it's a Solon and Brayburn ship, so...
You think? Really? I couldn't tell.
It's kind of hard. Let me squint my eyes a little bit.
Anyway, but here's the fun thing. He had them, but he wasn't selling them in a booth. I don't know if he couldn't get a booth in time or just because he has the one book he didn't decide to do it, but he was selling them, but he was selling them at a pay what you want price with the suggested price of $30. And the fact is he had a backpack full, well, not full of them. He had like four of them in a backpack. And I'm just like, you know what? This is awesome. This guy was willing to take a few books, try selling them out of his bag, and at a pay what you want price. I gave him $35 and I got the book. So, yeah.
And apparently it's already in my read later list.
Oh, wow.
On FimFiction. So I should probably find maybe someone that's doing an audio reading of it so that I can get through it.
It looks pretty big, so I don't think anybody's doing it anytime soon.
You might be surprised. You might be surprised.
4,000.
Yeah, but the thing is, I know how it goes. People start and then they don't ever end it.
All right. Well, moving on here.
They drop it.
Moving on. Hybrid Blood. This was a Pathfinder, Starfinder, fifth. Basically, this is a book to be able to make any kind of a hybrid character in either Pathfinder, Starfinder, or in 5DE Dungeons and Dragons. But it's from the same people that it's the Pony Finder books, essentially. This is just their way of getting other creatures other than ponies into the games as well. So I thought it'd be fun for a LARF. And of course, you can see right there at the top left, I have the Buried Tube badge, as well as the special plastic fig insignia that they had just for the con. And let's see, I should have some close-ups here. Yep, here's a close-up of a couple more ship-fit cards that I got, also from Choco Pony. I also finally got the little golden ingot card from Railroad Pony, as well as a bottle opener of a Kirin bottle opener from My Little Ties.
Perfect.
And also at the bottom left, is it showing there at the bottom left? Well, you can kind of see it. It's not a good picture, but I also got a dice. It's just a dice with different cutie marks on the end, so you can't really roll anything with it unless you are creative.
Okay, now that I see the close-up of those snaps, I understand how it works a bit better.
Yeah, it's still really awesome. And also, I got the Everfree badge. And the scroll right there on the left, I don't exactly know where it came from, but it has a specialized wax seal of Everfree on it. Which, there was only a few of these made, I'm guessing as a prop of some sort. So, I decided to take a chance and try to bring it home with me. You can see I succeeded.
It is mine now.
Well, it's
will
just...
you ever know what it says on the inside, or will you just keep it because of the preserve the wax seal?
I'm going to preserve the wax seal, but I already know what's on the inside. Absolutely nothing.
It's a blank slate.
It's a blank slate, but that means that it has the infinite words of the future.
Exactly.
And also, I got a couple of stickers down there from my friend over at the Berry Tube Room. Basically, Brony trash. It's literally just a trash can with the alicorn wings, tail thing on it right there.
It's kind of hard to tell in that picture.
And it's hard to tell, but you can kind of get an idea of it. And on the top there, Rainbow Pounce, that was also another weird thing that happened. I opened up my room during one of my back and forths, and that fell out of the door.
That's perfect.
It was beautiful. I love it, so I held on to it. It was awesome.
I wonder if they thought that your room was the berry punch room.
No, I doubt that. I think they were doing it with a lot of fun, with a lot of rooms. Now, Pixel Kitties, of course, did a lot of artwork for the different autograph booths, and these were the pictures that they had for the autograph sessions. Now, one of my friends works in con staff, and he managed to snag a good chunk of these, but he had some extras, and I was able to convince him to part ways with some of them. The only problem is, I believe I know it is missing one of the student 6, but I forget which one.
Hold on, let me see.
Of course.
Let's see, I see Gallus, Silverstream, Yona. That's Sandbar in all of this.
Maybe it was Sandbar that got missed. Actually, I think I'm missing more than just Sandbar now that I give it a second look. But either case,
Marcellus isn't there either.
Yeah, I was about to say, where's the bug?
Yeah. Okay, we're missing a few, but I really love Pixel Kitty's art, and the Tyrek one alone was worth it because it's just Tyrek buying a bunch of Tyrek's Revenge, which was from that Equestria Girl short.
I'm interested in that Cozy Glow one because it just looks so good.
Oh yeah, it looks so deliciously evil.
About Tyrek, he's also the voice of Unicron from Transformers Armada, Cybertron, and Energon.
Duly noted. Moving on. And I also got some prints because some artists were there that I really love. NC Mares, I got his Unicorn study session.
Yep.
I also got a few artists renditions of I think it was Solar Flare, which was the original intention of Evil Celestia before they got Daybreaker.
To be fair, Solar Flare and Daybreaker are just two different sides of the same coin.
Nah, I just like Solar Flare more because she's like over decorated and over jeweled. It's like it feels a little bit more imposing than just the Daybreaker was just like fiery. Yeah. And of course,
Daybreaker is basically a palette swap night and
moving on, but so Toa can stop interrupting. We also got Luna's Jon Snow.
Mm-hmm.
And also, oh, for the love of God! And I also got an awesome art print that I really, really, really wanted to get from Citra of Twilight hugging all of her friends together.
I watched him draw that.
And as I mentioned, there's a Tony Fleeks print I got that I thought was just for the con and not a comic cover. So that was kind of funny finding that out when I got home. And a few Twilight prints, and I'm not entirely sure the top left one. I think that was also to do with the guests that were showing up. But I really liked the image altogether, so I just went with it because it was a freebie. And that is it. That is all that I got here. And that is and Everfree. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I recommend anybody who wants to go to Everfree go and check it out.